Howdy, howdy folks, and welcome back to the channel. Do you want to know what it takes to be good at surveillance? Okay, hang on. This is my top 20 list of strategies you can implement right now to be great at conducting surveillance. First thing is, make sure you get thorough and complete information from your client before you ever start doing surveillance. I know this sounds simple, but seriously, I don't know how many times I have seen other PIs out there on surveillance with little to no info on their target. Obviously, you need to get the subject's name, address, a photo, but it also helps if you know things like hobbies and habits. Where do they work and what is their work schedule? What kind of vehicle do they drive, to include make, model, year, and color, and how do they drive, fast, slow, or cautious? Also, make sure you get any other schedule details, places they like to go, do they have kids or pets? Is the subject a morning person or a night person? Do they have social media accounts? Anything and everything helps when you're out there and when you are putting the surveillance plans together. What is the desired outcome of the surveillance? What does the client expect? Make sure you plan your surveillance accordingly. In other words, if the client hopes you catch his wife with her boyfriend while he is out of town on business, well, then you probably don't want to start surveillance at 5 a.m. Now, you need a surveillance vehicle too. We all know that. But make sure your surveillance vehicle blends in. By blending in, though, I mean it blends in the neighborhood, and you can blend in with the rest of traffic when you're mobile. Always start your surveillance online too. That's right. Starting online makes so much sense in this day and age. I always plan at least 1 hour for some serious OSINT, open source intelligence, so I can make sure I gather as much intel on my subject as possible before I ever head out on the physical surveillance. Here is a quick tip when you are following people. I know this list is rather random, so bear with me. There is so much more to cover. I still have 15 more tips for you. Never make eye contact when following your subject. Making eye contact leaves an impression. I always wear sunglasses when possible and avoid eye contact completely. And make sure you keep your distance while on mobile surveillance too. Not too far, but far enough so you're not easily noticed. The follow, the tail, the act of conducting mobile surveillance truly is half art, half science, and you will oftentimes need a fair amount of good luck too. Have a pretext, a good explanation for what you are doing for anyone in every scenario, just in case someone notices you. I always have a pretext in case neighbors notice me in my car, as well for the nosy manager at the grocery store if they happen to notice I am not really shopping as I follow my subject around, and yes, even in case my target notices me. Document, 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 document everything. It is always good to make sure everything gets documented in video, in photos, and verbally in the report. This is one of those CYA things as well. It is always good to reference back on if you go out and you do further surveillance on the same person. We discussed blending in with your vehicle, but you need to blend in too. Don't wear shorts in December. Make sure you are dressed appropriately. I always have extra clothes with me just in case. For instance, around here, if my subject goes up into the mountains for a hike, I need some good hiking shoes. And I may also need a windbreaker or even a winter coat. You never know when the weather will suddenly change, and then you are standing there, standing out, dressed completely inappropriately. Make sure you maintain a steady hand when shooting your video. Nothing is worse than video shake so bad no one can make out who the person in the video is or what they are doing or who they are with. Use a monopod, a tripod, your knees, or form a triangle with your arms. Do whatever you need to do to get good quality, steady video. Avoid distractions at all costs. The easiest way to miss out on something is to be paying attention to something else. And the big secret here, folks, you don't know what you don't know, or better put, you don't know what you missed while you were doing something else besides paying attention. Think very careful about your stationary position when you set up on surveillance. Consider the proximity to your target. Consider the direction they will go when they leave. Consider the neighborhood and the neighbors. Pre-surveillance is a must on most cases today. Don't wait until the day you're starting surveillance to go check everything out, and don't rely on the internet to provide you with accurate photos and images. Get out there ahead of time and scope it out. I always try to go out during the daytime so I have a good idea, and I try to do some pre-surveillance observations of the neighborhood too, so I know the most likely way people will leave and come into the area. And when you do start surveillance, start early. If you're working in infidelity and the subject gets off work at 5 p.m., don't show up at 4:45 p.m. I know the client will think you can do that. but you need to get your pre-surveillance intel first so you know where to set up and can plan your plan ahead of time. Also, what if he leaves early to make that special rendezvous? Keep breaks to a minimum, or in my case, I avoid them altogether. Remember what I said before? You don't know what you don't know, and if you run off to the closest fast food joint to grab a burger or make a pit stop, well, you have no idea what happened while you were gone. Keep it covert, never overt, is key to success too. I often refer to our surveillance that we conduct as passive surveillance. We never get too aggressive. We never push the follow too tightly. We try to never work it so hard we get burned. Have a complete cover sheet in hand at all times. This should include the important details you need to access quickly: vehicles, license plates, ID photos, and other things like that. And make sure you have a comprehensive information sheet available for reference at your fingertips too, be it printed or electronic. This will include all of those pieces of information you got from the client and all of the intel you gathered conducting your OSINT investigation. Have a backup for every piece of equipment you have if at all possible. I always have at least 2 cameras plus my covert camera and my cell phone. I carry extra batteries and I carry extra SD cards just in case. Murphy's Law is most prevalent when you are not prepared. Let's remember our ethical obligation as a professional private investigator too. When it comes to surveillance, folks, you need to ensure you conduct yourself in a lawful and ethical way. Don't try to get video over the fence, through a residential window, or place a hidden recording device somewhere just to try to get the goods on your subject. Doing anything illegal jeopardizes the entire investigation, puts you and your client at risk, and compromises your future as a professional private investigator. Now here's one of the biggest secrets you need to know about. I made this video all about how you can enhance your surveillance skills in your first year as a PI, so check it out now.